Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. It is Wednesday night, December 5th. My name's Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. TK and Heavy D are back in the sound room, as always. And Ken, last week we started talking some high school hoops, kind of focused on the Russia Raiders boys and girls teams. This week, though, we're going to northern part of Shelby County and talking about the league up there, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We're going to continue our talk on Shelby County League basketball, both boys and girls. But today we're going to cover the northern part of the league, including Botkins girls program led by Coach Don Mack, and also the successful Jackson Center boys program. And it was going to be fun. We're interviewing a couple of these star senior players from Jackson Center. We'll have them on live along with the videotape that we did just last night of Botkins head coach Don Mack.
Yeah, a lot to talk about, a lot of people to talk to. But before we get to all that, we need to get to that weekly trivia question. And I bet you're not going to ask me a football question this week.
No football question this week, but I've got a good question for you.
All right?
And we're going to take you back. We're going to have a lot of Jackson Center listeners tonight. I know we will. We got the big interview lined up, like we said. So we're going to take you back, Craig. 1985, the state basketball championship game between Jackson Center and Graysville Skyview. Do you remember where you were at?
I remember where I was at, no doubt.
Most people do. Well, we're at St. John's Arena, and Coach Jerry Harmon, Craig, I'm going to put you in the feel of the game here. Coach Jerry Harmon calls upon none other than Jeff Teeters to enter the game in the closing minutes when who fouled out? One of his key players fouled out. All right? The question is, who fouled out in order for Jeff Teeters to go into the game? Now, I'm going to make it a little tougher for you. I'm going to give you four guys' name.
All right.
In this answer, I got the right answer, did a little research on this. And is it A, Keith Dosek, B, Sean Lenhart, C, Tony Meyer, or D, Brian Scoggins?
Wow, a lot of good names there.
I
remember all those names, though.
A lot of good names from the past there. And which one of them four stars fouled out to allow Jeff Teeters to enter the game?
I bet you there are Jackson Center fans yelling at their computer monitors right now, and I have no idea.
Well, you'll know the answer a little later on during the show.
I might have to ask Alex or Trey a little later.
They might know.
All right, Ken. Well, let's start out tonight talking some girls' high school hoops. We're in week 2 of the season. Most schools already have a couple league games in already, but let's take a look at the standings and see where we're at this week.
Well, it's still very early in the league standings, but things are starting to show up a little bit here with probably the 3 best teams in the league sitting undefeated right now. Anna 2-0, Russia 2-0, and Fort Loramie at 1-0, followed by Houston, Botkins, and Fairlawn and Jackson Center, both at 0-2, looking for their first league win. So, big games coming up this week, and, overall, I can see things starting to take a little bit of shape there already in the Shelby County League girls standings.
Yeah, there was a couple games last night. Anna traveled to Lima Bath, and Houston traveled to Tri-Village. Both the county schools took some losses in that, and a little bit surprised about Anna losing.
Yes, it was kind of a surprise there, but after I read about the game, actually, Lima Bath has got a great program over there. They're Division II, and, they beat Anna in a very low-scoring contest. And, Anna's got a good team again this year, but they're not as good as they've been in the past. I don't think they've got quite the depth. Again, they're still very good, but it'll be interesting to see how things pan out, especially tomorrow night when a good Russia team travels to Anna.
Yeah, that Lima Bath team, like you said, very good. They've actually been to the state tournament, I believe, 6 times since 1987, so a quality program over there. And then, like I said, Houston went to Tri-Village. I kind of wondered how Tri-Village would be after graduating everything Kayla Linkus over there last year. Mm-hmm. But they're sitting at 5-0 right now. Talked to a Houston person this afternoon. They said they're still loaded from top to bottom. A lot of good players over there.
Yeah, I'd heard last year that Kayla Linkus was actually one of their few seniors on that team. So, they're going to be there come postseason once again.
All right, well, let's take a look at the schedule coming up tomorrow night and this Saturday for the girls, Ken.
A couple big games tomorrow night, 3 league games actually. Botkins going to Jackson Center, Houston at Fort Loramie, and the key game on your schedule there, of course, like we said before, Russia at Anna. On Saturday, a couple interesting non-league matchups. First of all, Fairlawn will be traveling to Lehman. Jackson Center will be at Riverside. The high-scoring Connor Harris will be taking her game over to Houston. And two very good non-league games here. Fort Laramie traveling to a very good Miami East squad, and also the Marion Local Flyers coming in and taking on your Russia Raiders.
Yeah, there's looks like some good games in that schedule there. And one note about Fort Laramie, I was told that Coach Siegel over there is actually sitting on career win number 248. So she has Houston tomorrow night, like you said, and then on Saturday, Miami East, which will be a tough one. But if she can pick up a couple wins there, she'll have 250 career wins, all at Fort Laramie.
Yeah, she's done a great job with that program. Picked her up right where Jane Puppelman left the program at. And good luck to Carla and the Lady Redskins this weekend.
All right, well, one of the schools we want to talk about tonight is the Botkins Lady Trojans. And Ken, when you talk about Botkins head coach over there, Don Mack, there's a guy that certainly earned his spot as a varsity coach, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. You know, Don's been at it for a long time. You know, we had a good chance to talk to Don last night. What a great guy. He loves his basketball, and he just loves to talk about it. But Don spent 7 years as a junior high coach, 6 more years as a junior varsity coach, 3 more years as a varsity assistant coach, and he's now in his 2nd year at the helm of the Botkins Trojans. So he's leading his team. He's doing a great job. He took over a team that had just 4 wins in one season, had 8 wins last year, and he's off to a great start this year, sitting at 3-1.
Yeah, he had 2 seniors that he graduated from last year. One of those was Christine Johnson. She was their 2nd leading scorer last year. I know we mentioned her name a couple times last season, but they actually come back this year with 6 seniors. 5 of those girls were letter winners. And like you said, we talked to Coach Mack last night at Botkins, and let's check out to see what he had to say about those seniors, Ken.
This year's 6 seniors, I've had them since freshman at the JV level and now at the high school level. I couldn't ask for a better group of girls. The best thing that they do is they know, I always remind them, what was it like when you were a freshman? You know, and they don't push them around because they're seniors or anything like that. They really help the younger kids come along, and this group is by far the best as far as 6 of them being able to help all the younger kids from the senior standpoint.
Now, you started your season out with a win over Parkway, and that's a team that you know kind of well because ex-Botkins coach Doug Hughes is over there. He's an assistant over there, and his wife is actually the head varsity coach.
Yes.
So after beating them, do you get bragging rights for a while?
Well, we kind of talked about it, and it was a joking thing that we were going to have a traveling trophy between the 2 of us, but we never did anything with it. But they're still good friends of ours. We get together with them a lot, you know, and it was kind of an awkward game because of playing them and playing Doug and Lynn. And we both said when we walked in here that night that we can't wait till this game's over with because it just was really weird, you know, going against such good friends.
Speaking of that game, you guys kind of exploded for 68 points in that game. And you've actually had several different leading scorers this year, I think. McCullough might have led you in scoring last game. Kramer might have led you in scoring in a game. You've also had Pitts leading you in scoring. I think Cassie Bergman's been scoring for you as well. This season, are you going to have a girl that you can go to if you need to score, or are there just going to be a bunch of different scores?
Well, I don't like to, I would think that we have more than one. Having different scoring leaders each game has definitely been nice. The Indian Lake game, we had 3 in double figures and then 2 with 9. So that was great balance I like to see. You know, I think it makes it hard, too, when teams don't know who's going to be your leading scorer.
All right, and this Thursday you're going up against Jackson Center, and that's a team that seems like they've been just figuring out how to score since the loss of the SCL's leading scorer last year, Brooke Richard. What are going to be the keys to winning that game Thursday night?
Well, I think for us is what we've learned with this team so far is we have to get off to a good start. We have to, you know, the Indian Lake game, we did not get off to a good start. We were down 18-10. We had to battle back, and we just didn't play with any intensity and any energy, and we really focused on that Saturday against Riverside, and we jumped out 18-2 and just really set the tone for the rest of the game. And so I you know, this short into the season, I can see that that's going to be our main key to most of our games is getting off to a good start as far as our intensity and our energy level. And we know Jackson Center is very young, but we know they're very dangerous as far as athletic kids. So definitely something we want to do is set the tone early for ourselves.
And last question. Last week we spoke to Rushie's head coach, Alan King, and we mentioned Botkins, and he said anytime you play Botkins, you can bet on Don Mack scouting you pretty well. I want to ask you, as far as scouting goes, do you like to do the scouting yourself, or do you depend on your assistants to do a lot of that for you?
I like to see it myself. Now, a lot of my assistants will help me out, but I love breaking down film. I love watching games and picking up on stuff, because obviously when you're not coaching, it's not as intense, and you can kind of relax and sit back and kind of watch things a little bit. But I enjoy scouting because I enjoy seeing the other kids and the tendencies of other kids. And
all right, Ken, when Don said he likes to scout, he wasn't kidding, was he? He actually left our interview and went on a scouting trip, didn't he?
Yes, he did. The guy puts every effort he's got into coaching girls basketball over there at Botkins. Does a great job. He was heading over to Lima Bath, actually, to watch that Anna game. And, he's just a typical coach, especially in this area. There's so many of them just like him that put in all those extra efforts. And, fans just don't realize sometimes how much effort all these coaches put into basketball. But they do everything they can do to possibly give their team the edge over the other team and to win that game.
Yeah, like you said, he went to watch the Anna game, and as you mentioned earlier, they came off a loss. I want to go back to our sound room now and talk to the guys back there, ask TK and Heavy D. With Anna coming off a loss, they go to Rushie tomorrow night, or Rushie goes to Anna tomorrow night. And I want to ask you guys, for the Raiders, is Anna coming off a loss a good thing or a bad thing?
Craig, Anna took it all the way to the state finals last year, got beat in a good game. They lost seniors Hulskamp and Froning from last year. They're still a solid squad. Win or lose, the Raiders need to be ready to play tomorrow night, and I think they put in a hard week of practice. They're ready to go. I think it's good for these seniors, for the Rushie team, to see that Anna can be beat. They're not invincible, and I think that's going to be played to the Raiders' advantage. But going into it tomorrow night, I think they're mentally and physically prepared for the game.
I'd have to, just to chime in a little bit, I'd have to add that the way they got beat has to make Rushie feel a little bit better. It was a big zone defense from Bath, a little bit more of a physical game, slowed them down and forced them to shoot outside, which they've lost a little bit of their outside touch. That is Anna. And again, has to give Rushie a lot of confidence because they're obviously a big squad. We've talked about that a lot. Put a zone and get those girls shooting outside. I think it gives us a really good chance to bring home a victory.
All right, well, it should be a lot of fun tomorrow night, Ken. Looking forward to that matchup. And that's going to do it for our girls basketball talk tonight. But speaking of girls, as we go to our break tonight, we want to debut the Rushie High cheerleaders. And they actually opened their season last Saturday. I'm a pretty good judge of cheerleaders, Ken, and I think these girls might just be the best in the area.
I think they are too. I'll have to agree with you and take a look at this, and you'll see how they can perform.
raised by a single mother in the heart of the Midwest. She grew up, didn't have to struggle, cause her mom worked hard for everything they had. She never knew her father, only knew that he was gone. She would wake to home, all the crying and an empty Bible laying on the floor. Yeah. Teen with open face, she was gonna leave this And so now she's paying rent on an old farmhouse. Got a job in a factory downtown, pushing out on wheels. Now it's porch cars and bluebell dinners and weekend streams for you and me. All the mornings they are diamonds in on this side of town. She likes to smoke, takes a toll, it's just another day of a fairy tale. Oh, it's just black coffee.
All right, welcome back. There we go. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Fish Report Live. And Ken, I got to ask you, what did you think of those cheerleaders?
Oh, they did a great job, and congratulations to Coach Brandy Flippo. She does a great job with them, and she's worked really hard over the years. And we got a great squad there, and they're fun to watch, and they keep the crowd entertained.
All right, well, before the break, we were talking girls high school basketball. Now we're going to talk boys high school basketball, Ken. And the boys just opened their season last Friday. So most of the schools only have a couple games in right now. But let's take a look at the standings and see how they are with just a few games in.
Yeah, we're just really early into the standings this week, so it's kind of hard to tell how things are going to shake out. But Botkins is off to a nice start at 3-0. The high-scoring Fairlawn Jets sitting at 2-0, as well as the defending state runner-up Jackson Center Tigers at 2-0. Fort Laramie's off to a nice start, but has yet to play a league game. And then Houston, Anna, and Russia all sitting at 0-1 right now in the league standings. But it's very early yet. A lot of things can change, and expect some things to flip around there a little bit as we go on.
All right, well, speaking of Botkins, we saw them at the top of the standings just a little bit ago. You had a chance to see them last night, so did I. I want to ask you, what was your impression of Botkins?
Well, it's a typical Brett Meyer team. They play very hard on the defensive end of the floor. They take care of the basketball, and they work really hard on offense. They hit the open man. They play a lot of good team basketball there. And I was really impressed with how hard they play. Although Brett's team, Coach Meyer's team, always plays hard, and so it was no surprise. But they got some good leadership over there, and they got a nice team.
All right, and like we said, the league is just getting started. Got 3 more league games coming up tomorrow night, and let's take a look at Friday and Saturday's schedule, Ken.
Well, Friday's schedule has Anna going to Houston, Fort Laramie in an interesting matchup, traveling over to the hangar to take on the high-scoring Fairlawn Jets. And a big game, Jackson Center will be coming to Russia to play. Claire C. Nouveau Gymnasium will be a raucous environment there for the Tigers, so I expect a very good game there in Russia Friday night. Saturday games, Anna will be traveling to New Knoxville. Houston will be at Franklin Monroe. Riverside at Jackson Center. And Russia with another tough game. They'll be traveling to Minster.
All right, and like you said, Ken, really looking forward to that Russia-Jackson Center game. It's really Russia's first look at the Tigers since they went all the way to the state finals last January, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and both teams have changed, but I think the philosophy of both coaches remains the same. Play good, hard defense, make the other team work for their baskets, and take care of the basketball when you have it. So, I think whoever limits the mistakes and controls the rebounding and keeps the other team off the glass, I think they're the ones that's going to have the advantage.
All right, Ken. Well, on the phone right now, I think we have 2 of the stars from that state team last year. Seniors Alex Meyer and Trey Elchert are joining us live. Boys, thanks for calling in tonight, and welcome to Fish Report Live.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Well, before we get started, I understand both of you attended a Bluffton University basketball game tonight. Trey, I want to start with you. I've been told that you're actually looking at Bluffton. How's Bluffton's new facility up there, and what's the chances you'll be playing for the Beavers next season?
Yeah, we actually just got done with that Bluffton game. They beat Kalamazoo tonight. The new facility is very nice. Just built it this summer. State-of-the-art facility. I've been looking at a couple different colleges, and Bluffton right now, I would say if I had to pick one today, Bluffton would probably be my choice, but still trying to figure it out.
All right, Alex, let's go to you. How about you? Are you looking to play college ball somewhere next season?
Yeah, I would like to play ball somewhere, but that's not all I know for future plans at the moment.
All right. Well, let's. Ken and I were just talking about let's talk some high school hoops. Ken and I were just talking about your Jackson Center team playing in the state finals last year. And Alex, I want to ask you: can you summarize your feelings about last year's run? I mean, looking back, what were your thoughts on your 27-1 season?
Last year's run was a fantastic experience. We had to do some things some teams have dreamed about. It really showed us, that all of our hard work and dedication really pay off.
Hey guys, this is Ken Francis, and Trey, I've got a question for you. Coming into this season, obviously you knew you were going to be missing two-time Shelby County League Player of the Year Andy Hoyne to graduation. How does your team stay focused as far as, how do you replace a guy that did everything that Andy did for your squad?
To be completely honest, you can't replace a guy like Andy. He did a little bit of everything for us, and obviously, as you said, two-time Scout Player of the Year, and he could really do it all. So it's just a matter of everyone else just doing a little bit more. A couple people stepping up and scoring, a couple people stepping up for rebound, everyone just improving their game a little bit.
Well, that's a great answer there, because you're exactly right. There's no way to replace a guy like Andy Hoyne on your team, but I know you got enough depth and enough good athletes over there that you'll try your best to replace what he did do for your team. I know both you guys are typical Shelby County League athletes, where when you're a star athlete in the Shelby County League, especially you're asked to participate in several sports. During the summer, though, and during the off season, what do you guys do to try to improve your basketball game, and what do you feel you worked on the most? Let's start with you, Alex.
Over the summer, we usually go to the gym, get enough shots in that we feel like we're comfortable, and from there we just kind of work on the little things, make sure we get enough hard work and stuff like that.
Trey, how about you?
We try to do a few different things. A combination of work on our own game. We do a lot of lifting over the summer. That's when we improve our strength the most. And also just calling guys, getting guys together to play. That's the biggest thing. Especially like you said earlier, losing a guy like Andy. It's important to come together as a group and understand each other even more and really develop as a team.
Friday night, guys, you guys come over to Rushi to take on our Rushi Raiders. Alex, I want to ask you a question out to Alex here. The last time you guys played over here, you had a big night, 16 points. You clinched the Shelby County League title that night. Trey, coach and dad walked out of the gym with his 200th victory. It was just a big night for the Tigers. Our Raiders are a little bit different team this year, but coming into this game, Alex, what are you expecting to see from Rushi Friday night, and what kind of concerns do they possess for you?
We're expecting a good dog fight Friday. It's going to be a good one. It's a great Rushi team, real scrappy. Got great shooters like Trey, Francis, people are light it up for. Great athletes like dudes.
All right, one more question for you, Trey, and we'll let you guys go. Trey, you've had the opportunity to play for your dad for the last 4 years, and that's got to be pretty neat for both you guys. And I want you to explain to me the relationship with him as your coach and your dad, and is that going to be something you miss after this season?
That'll definitely be something I miss. Something we both really enjoyed. It's a different kind of bond as a coach and a player, and being a father and a son. It's not something every player gets to experience. Obviously, we've had our battles, but it's something that's been great for both of us, and something I know we both definitely miss.
All right, well, that's great stuff, boys. Hey, listen, we want to say thanks for taking a few minutes to join us tonight, and we look forward to seeing both of you Friday night in Rushi.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, Ken, that was Jackson Center senior stars Alex Meyer and Trey Elchert. And Ken, I don't know about you, but last year after Russia was out of the tournament picture, I couldn't help but root for those guys.
Oh, I definitely was pulling for them. A couple great kids right there, great community over there at Jackson Center. And I got to admit, their coach over there, Coach Elchert, one of the nicer guys you're ever going to meet.
Yeah. I'm not going to be rooting for him Friday night. Now,
I'm not either. I can't root for him Friday night. But, again, take nothing away from the community and the school system. And those boys, they've worked hard for what they've got. And, it's a great senior class they've got over there. And, they've got good support from some of the underclassmen. And, again, Coach Elchert does a great job, and Superman.
All right, well, that's going to almost do it for our basketball talk. Speaking of Jackson Center, your trivia question tonight was about Jackson Center. Why don't you go back to that question and give me my choices again?
All right, Craig. Well, the trivia question was, in 1985, taking yourself back in time, 1985, when Coach Jerry Harmon put in Jeff Teeters, he replaced someone that had fouled out. Who fouled out of the game? Was it, I don't even know what it was. Was it A, Keith Dosek, B, Sean Lenhart, C, Tony Meyer, or D, Brian Scoggins?
Boy, there's a lot of great names there, and I forgot to ask those boys if they knew the answer to that.
I'll bet you they know the answer.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna guess Tony Meyer just because Tony Meyer.
You know what? You had a 25% chance of guessing right, and you guessed right.
All right.
So congratulations, you got the right answer. Tony Meyer fouled out with a few minutes left in the game. Coach Harmon put in Jeff Teeters, which was a surprise move. He had 10 seniors on that team. He pulled a JV player off the bench, and of course, the rest is history. Jeff Teeters hit a 12-footer to win the state championship.
I haven't got too many trivia questions right this year. Do I get a T-shirt for that? Or
no.
All right. Well, we should probably nominate somebody for T-shirts. You got any ideas?
Sure. I'll be happy to nominate Alex Meyer and Trey Elchert.
All right. That sounds like a couple good choices.
All right.
All right, good deal. All right, Ken, well, before we leave, I got one more big announcement. Last year, Fish Report actually had our first ever Fish Reports Rockin' New Year's Eve party. Happy to announce that that's actually coming back this year. We're going to get some information on the website about it again this year. It's all done for a good cause. I'll have something on the website probably on Friday. You were there last year, weren't you?
I was there.
Had a good time?
I had a good time.
All right, well, we'll look forward to having another good time again this year. Like I said, have some more information about that in the next couple of days. But that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to say special thanks to our guest, Trey Elchert, and Alex Meyer for joining us live tonight. Also, special thanks to Don Mack for taping that interview with us last night. And as always, thanks to the viewers out there for tuning in. Ken and I and the crew will be back again next week with another big show. But until then, everyone have a great rest of the week and good night.
From Studio F in Russia, Ohio, for Ken Francis, Craig Fissinger, and TK, this is Heavy D, signing off saying good night and good fishing.